When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. If you're trying to create a company, it's like baking a cake. You have to have all the ingredients in the right proportion. If something's important enough, you should try, even if the probable outcome is failure. People work better when they know what the goal is and why. It is important that people look forward to coming to work in the morning and enjoy working. People should pursue what they're passionate about. That will make them happier than pretty much anything else. I think there should be regulations on social media to the degree that it negatively affects the public good. I think that's the single best piece of advice. Constantly think about how you could be doing things better and questioning yourself. We're running the most dangerous experiment in history right now, which is to see how much carbon dioxide the atmosphere can handle before there is an environmental catastrophe. I will never be happy without having someone. Going to sleep alone kills me. When I was in college, I wanted to be involved in things that would change the world. Really, the only thing that makes sense is to strive for greater collective enlightenment. I think life on Earth must be about more than just solving problems. It's got to be something inspiring, even if it is vicarious. Starting a business is not for everyone. Starting a business, I'd say, number one is have a high pain threshold. Brand is just a perception, and perception will match reality over time. Sometimes it will be ahead, other times it will be behind. But brand is simply a collective impression some have about a product. In order to have your voice be heard in Washington, you have to make some little contribution. When Henry Ford made cheap, reliable cars, people said, "Nah, what's wrong with a horse?" That was a huge bet he made, and it worked. I think we have a duty to maintain the light of consciousness to make sure it continues into the future. I say something, and then it usually happens. Maybe not on schedule, but it usually happens. There's a silly notion that failure's not an option at NASA. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. When I was a child, there's one thing I said: I never want to be alone. That's what I would say. I don't want to be alone. The United States is definitely ahead in culture of innovation. If someone wants to accomplish great things, there is no better place than the US. I think it's very important to have a feedback loop where you're constantly thinking about what you've done and how you could be doing it better. Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. Patience is a virtue, and I'm learning patience. It's a tough lesson. I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. I think you should always bear in mind that entropy is not on your side. I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. People work better when they know what the goal is and why. It is important that people look forward to coming to work in the morning and enjoy working. There's a silly notion that failure's not an option at NASA. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough.